Hey, what's up guys? It's Raven with a bit of a double feature today. I'm going to be casting two games back to back. The first one is the one you see right here where I'm playing the 17th SS Division. And right after that I'm going to have gameplay with the 716th. The reason they're together is because both games, I think, showcase kind of urban combat, infantry tactics, and kind of a little bit of a different play style than open armored warfare, and I wanted to kind of put them together to have a longer video. Both of them are kind of rather short games. This one's only 17 minutes. This particular game is a 3v3 on St. Meriglay. I'm going to the city in the middle, which is kind of... That's an interesting feature of this map, is there's a big city in the middle and then kind of more open areas on either flank. So yeah, kind of speed up a little bit to where we get all the deployment stuff down. Now obviously the other team, it's got two armored decks and an airborne deck, so normally you'd think, okay, well the airborne deck's going to go into the middle and the armored decks are on either sides, and that's not quite what happened. In this game, the armored deck goes to the middle and with a little bit of support from the airborne deck, and the airborne deck goes to the side. And that's kind of a problem for me, because you see, as the 17th, I don't really have very good squad or early game AT or vehicle fire support. I do have a Panzerschreck squad, I do have an armored car with a anti-tank rifle mounted on top, but that's about it. You know, if I was playing a different deck, I might have, say, Panzer Grenadier, where everybody has a Panzerfaust launcher or something like that. So kind of dealing with that challenge is kind of a good part of the early game, and eventually counterattacking and taking the city. You see, I do have an AT gun as well. I misspoke. I have that as well. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going into the city. I don't want to advance too far. Like, I'm not trying to rush to get to the church right there. I'm not trying to get across the middle road. I'm just setting up a position. There's a base of fire with the machine gun, probing a little bit with that guy, and right now I'm saying, crap, look at these tanks. Why are these tanks here? I thought I had an airborne deck. So I'm being really careful. I'm moving my Panzerschreck squad up to shoot the Sherman there. See, look at that. I jumped out for a second so he couldn't shoot me, then I jumped back in and fired, made it bail out. I'm getting my fire support. I have an IG-18, I have a PAC-38 in this tree line, ready to fire at this Stuart coming through, so I'm doing a pretty good job parrying this. Let me zoom out so it's not quite as loud. I'm doing a pretty good job of parrying this offensive, just because like I said, it's an armor deck, so he's got half tracks, he's got all these tanks. I wasn't really prepared for it, and on top of that, the airborne guy has a bunch of stuff over here kind of shooting. He doesn't actually use these units very well, because he's microing on this side as well. You see my mortars giving fire support. Right now I'm kind of microing my armored car. I'm bringing up another Panzerschreck squad, another mortar, I think. He has his own mortar I'm trying to counter. Of course, the bomber moving away. I think I bring up a Flak Vierling too. Yeah, there's a Flak Vierling, because I know there's an airborne deck. I want to be careful to protect against planes. But I mean, this is pretty bad. I've got 1.5 players in... Oh no, that was a Nebelwerfer. Yeah, those Phase A Nebelwerfers in this deck are really powerful, and I've suppressed this whole dang part of the city. I almost could have just ran through and made everything surrender. You know, I got stuff covering me. I would have got shot in the road. Still microwaving my Panzerschrecks, trying to take out that Stuart. See, I jumped out of the building, fire, jumped back in, but I died. Still a good trade. So right now I'm just attritioning the guy. I've got the IG-18 firing through into those infantry. Got my mortar. I fired my Nebelwerfer, and I'm bringing up another armored car. But being really careful. See, they've got all these squads. I'm holding it with a shoestring defense. They're really weak over here, so I told my partner on the flank to push. That's an important thing too. Is if you're getting doubled or 1.5 or something, you know, tell your partner to push. Tell them, you know, they gotta be weak somewhere, and you gotta find that and push. Right now, I'm just holding out. I asked my teammate to bring up supplies for my Nebelwerfer there. Flak Vierling got a little too close. He got shot by that dang Browning 50 cal. Now this is a little rough here, because see, there's this Stuart tank coming through, and I wanted to pop out and shoot him with my armored car. But unfortunately, Stuarts and Shermans, because they had some kind of a sort of semi-stabilizer in real life, Eugen has chosen to model that by letting them aim faster. You see, I poked my thing out, and it started aiming, but the Stuart aims quicker, and he kills me. And I tried to get him again. I don't know why I did this per se, but the Stuart's popping up. I thought I'd be able to pop out and take a shot at it while it maybe shot at these guys, but he didn't see him, so he killed me again. So that was really crappy. Because now I have no tank killer. See, I'm bringing up another one there. No tank killer on the front lines besides my anti-tank gun here. So I'm trying to lure the Stuart in. Thankfully, these guys were shooting, kind of lured him out. But you see, I'm not like fighting too much in the city itself. I'm kind of wrapping around it a little bit and firing into it. That's kind of I think a key point of urban combat, especially in this situation where they've got, you know, flame infantry, they've got half tracks. I'm just trying to needle him down and attrition him. I'm not sending just blobs of infantry up the road and trying to brute force my way into the city, because that's not a fight you're going to win, especially when there's two players deploying units against you. And of course I'm relying on my mortars, my Nebelwerfers. Really a kind of a defensive thing. I only have basically 2 infantry squads. I'm bringing up some more stuff. They could push me a little bit more maybe, but they're not very confident, I guess. You see the airborne players kind of doing that now. But I keep Nebelwerfering, I keep doing my fire support with mortars and stuff. IG-18. Another thing with city is, like, make sure you're always looking at the sight lines, like what buildings can shoot what. I'm trying to be a little careful with that. So the airborne player advances up to here, but I had the Flak Vierling kind of ready to parry that. I put it there in hopes that he would push stuff up into this tree line, because at that range the Flak Vierling will pretty much shred anything that is on this kind of corridor right here. Of course, the armored player, he's not giving up. He's still bringing in more stuff. He's got 4 or 5 half-tracks in the city. Like, God. Really unlucky there. A mortar killed my AT gun and my IG-18. Of course, I have a Panzerschreck. Bring him up, put him in the building. See, he can... In that building, he can shoot... Show. He can shoot up this corridor, but he's sheltered. See, right... If you look at the sight lines... this area right here is blocking him from all of this fire. That's a really safe building if you want to have a shot out there, and I was using that a lot. See, look at all this, all these, zoom in's not working well, but see all these dead vehicles right here that I'm getting from that position as he comes down this main artery into the town. And a lot of the strategy is about kind of defending this little kind of city block right here. Because I have, you know, the fire support positions here, I've got the Panzerschrecks on that town. And I'm making him come to me, because unless he squeezes me out of here, he can't take the city. See, I jump my guy out to shoot that, jump back in, and he's safe. I'm gonna have that guy pop around in a second. But so he can't push this way because of my Flak Vierling, and up until recently he couldn't come this way. Oh, look at that, I got my Ju-87, killed both of those mortars in one pass. That was... This Spay troop could see them, and that was so good, because those mortars were really set up to bother me, but I managed to get those. Like I said, he can't push this way because of the Flak Vierling and the machine gun positions. He couldn't push through here because of the IG-18 and the anti-tank guns. So I'm kind of attritioning him, and I'm slowly, with Nebelwerfer and everything else, I'm building up good fire support from that MG. See, right now I'm smoking. You'll see why in a second why I'm smoking, but I'm just getting ready for my counterattack now, you could say. The airborne player left, so I mean obviously the game's gonna end here in a minute. He wasn't doing too good over here. I did lose my armored car because I forgot a guy was in there. But you see, I just put down this big wall of smoke, and look what's coming up. I got my Sturm Pioneers. So they're advancing through the smoke. They can't be shot at until they get close enough to basically fire. So with this smoke cover and with these Sturm Pioneers, you know, we hit Phase B a few minutes ago when I got these units out. I can really start to overrun the city. You see now the armored player left. I'm trying to get these guys in these buildings. I didn't think about it, but they're on fire. You just can't see it from the smoke, so that's why these guys are dancing around right now. But yeah, anyways, I just want to kind of show you that smoke attack on the end. So that was kind of the coup de grace of the city. And I was pretty happy with that maneuver, but unfortunately the game didn't go much longer. I should have looked at the score, but we were pretty positive, obviously. So like I said, we're going to do a double feature today. I'm going to show my next video is the 716th. The 716th is a static infantry division, and I have to say it's one of those that it's really hard for them to make a interesting deck out of it, just because it's not a very interesting division. It's got, you know, it just got rolled over on D-Day basically, and it's the fodder division. But Eugen actually did a really good job with it. I'm impressed with what they did with it, given what they had to work with. And so this game is focused on that. See, this is a 4v4 on Capricorn. It's just a totally random game. I just joined a lobby and saw what happened. Our side, you see, we got 2 716ths and 2 Windhoon divisions, which is kind of goofy, but I was actually alt-tabbed, and I tabbed back in when the countdown started and saw what my team had selected, but we rolled with it. Trying to get to the kind of stuff going down the road so you can more clearly see my opening deployment. So I'm going to these hangars right here. I'm against Albatar, who is a French armored deck. This is actually interesting. The French armored deck, it has 100 income, which is the same as my income. It's 100. And I really feel like my deck is a good counter to that kind of really fast, light armored rush approach. And I'm just like the perfect foil to that. And we'll see that play out here in a minute. You see, I didn't start out with any tanks because the only tank in my deck is a 110 or 120 point tank, which is just, that's really expensive to take as you're opening. So instead I took 1, 2, 3 AT guns, plenty of infantry squads, plenty of machine gun teams. I'm basically just trying to establish a position along this axis right here and eventually push into the hangars. I do have this nice little position with all these bunkers here, which will be my linchpin to start with. But of course the enemy gets the hangars, so it's an interesting fight. It's also interesting because another 716th went on this open area over here. I might check in on him because he did pretty well as well. And one of our Windhoons went to the city, which is kind of interesting. I actually wanted to go to the city, but he pinged there first. Okay, so French players rushing through. Obviously, he's got this fast, heavy 50 cal armed transport. He's got light tanks in the back. This is really kind of the French playstyle, that rush through, get a really good position early game, overpower the enemy in the early game with your really high income, and then obviously you fall off in phase B and C. Luckily, I was kind of ready though. I had these 2 AT guns, so I unload them on the road. This guy comes out in a second and returns fire against the M20. I'm gonna move this guy up too in a second. So unfortunately for him, like he ran right into this counter. I have these 2 lances of Pack 37s just waiting to repel his attack. They have good sight lines kind of up the road into the bunkers, which is what he's trying to get into right now. See, I killed his half-track, driving his steward away. His main forward elements got cut off, steward killed. This was really risky of him. If I were doing this, I probably would have started with a mortar and used that to kind of, just in case you needed smoke or fire support. High risk. He wanted to get into these bunkers before I got there, but I was just quick enough to stop him. He almost got there as it is. And that kind of set me up for success just right off the bat from the early game. So you see right now I'm getting into position. I'm making sure I clean all this up while my AT guns push up. You see I do have a little bit of a secondary position over here that's stopping reinforcements from coming down this road. With the machine gun, commander, all that. Flak Veerling. I start with a Flak Veerling because there's 2 enemy airborne decks, so I was kind of expecting to see maybe planes, and I will in a minute, but yeah. shifting around. You see I started with two recon squads as well, so I'm kind of being aggressive. Staking out my position. I want to get this tree line, which has good sight lines up the roads into the hangar. I want to secure this flank with Fusiliers, with the Flak Virling, with an AT gun. So right now I'm trying to establish this wall, and then I can push up into the hangars with my flanks secure. Also, I put an Osttrooper out here just on the middle of the airfield to push this bulge up. That's really useful. I mean, it's probably half the reason we're 51% right now is this maneuver and this maneuver right now. A lot of people, when they play this map, they just leave this big open area in the airfield. It's worth it to at least put an infantry squad there. And that's what I did. I see my Panzer B2 just got up to the field. This is that 110-point tank I was talking about that I didn't want to start with it, but it's really powerful. It's got 8 front armor, 6 side armor, a good 7 AP main gun, and a 9 HE hull-mounted gun. It's absolutely like the perfect tank for playing right in this area because he can fire on these little housing blocks and hangars and everything. That's what he's doing right now. This new Eve, it's cost 60 points, or 50 or 60 points to bring these guys out in total. And he's just pinned down. This elite infantry doesn't have anything he can do against this guy. See, I actually lost one of my pack guns over here. I traded it for a Stewart. Yeah, so right now I'm relying on this guy to do the push while my infantry spots enemies. He tried to smoke for his guys, but too late. I am worried about this Wolverine though, that M10 that's pushing up. So you see, I'm backing up. Luckily, I mean, I do have 8 armor, so I'm not just like an insta kill for something like that. And even I'm also counter-battering his mortar. I got 2 light howitzers. This Stuka is from I can't really read the Jim Hatama, and he sent it to help me. Thankfully, he's gonna go after that Wolverine. This is actually a big deal because killing that Wolverine, that's really not something I can deal with in Phase A, and that was kind of the trump card the French player had against me. Unfortunately, he lost the Stuka for it. But look at that, the French player has 2 Spitfires, which are, can't click them because they're evacing, but I think they're like 130, 140 points each. That's a really big investment. He killed that Stuka, so maybe it was worth it because it can't go on another run against him, but because I just saw those Spitfires, I know he's weak. I know we just killed that Wolverine. So I'm going to be a little more aggressive. You see, I just brought out another tank. We just hit Phase B. I was banking. Man, look over here. So I got another Flak Virulent coming up. Got a tank. I got a 120mm mortar, I think. Got a Martyr 1, some infantry. I was kind of banking for Phase B where I get a lot of key units, and now I'm about to push forward. The French player is still pretty strong, though. I mean, he's got his machine guns on Overwatch. He's got his AT gun here. Probably should be in cover. It's not. Let's see, is there cover? He probably just forgot about it. But he still has 2 Stewarts and an AT gun, so it's not really safe to push yet. But once I get my Martyr on the field, see, that's a bomber I bought to finish that infantry squad off. Once I get a Martyr on the field, which it's coming up the road here, I'll have that long-range pack gun basically to dominate the field of fire through there, and then I'll be able to push him. Oh, and this the 2 Flak Virlings, both are 1 star. The Spitfire bomber comes in and it doesn't drop his bombs. Those Flak Virlings stop it from dropping its bombs, and then the 2 upvet Flak Virlings actually manage to kill it. So that's another 140-ish points that the French player has in the air, for a total of 400 or so points in the air between his 2 ASF Spitfires and his bomber. And I think that's a mistake, because now I know he's spent so much. He spent like 5 minutes almost of his income or 4 minutes of his income on planes, whereas I have it almost all in ground units. I have the support assets and the howitzers. I have the AA guns. I have the mortar. I've got 2 tanks and a tank destroyer, and now I have the infantry to push. So I'm really going to let him have it. Osttrooper going forward, just kind of sacrificial lamb to find stuff for other units to shoot at. So found the new Eve squad. Of course, the machine gun gets in position. I'm just pushing guys forward while my tanks support. This is really the only way you can push with infantry. I do have a HS-129. This half-track mortar is a big problem. It's because it's not really vulnerable to counter batteries, so he forced me to buy this HS-129. 180 point investment, but I think well worth it. And I had my fighter bomber to escort it, just in case, because I know that guy has 2 Spitfires. He just didn't notice in time. So I really quickly kill the mortar and pull out. I do have my martyr in the... What's he shooting at right now? He's trying to shoot at that Stuart. He doesn't manage to kill it, I think. He does get the Spitfire out, like I was worried about, but I just managed to retreat to my flak Veerlings because I have AA and he doesn't. So I was able to save my plane. Didn't quite kill it with my flak Veerlings probably because that one's not upfit anymore. But I'm not too worried about that because right now I have the infantry wave. I have the really strong infantry support tanks supporting them with a Martyr 1 tank destroyer in the back, kind of on Overwatch. This is a really strong push. You're just going from hangar to hangar, clearing the place methodically. And it's pretty much the game actually, because this guy surrendered. There he goes. He surrenders right now. I mean, he had pretty much lost, but I mean, he could have maybe recovered. But this is a big victory here, and even though we're even on the sides, I think, see another one left. He was the armored deck over here. So yeah, this whole half of the map just quit. So that's pretty much GG. It's not really too much more than you can expect in a public all random game, but it is what it is. So right now I'm just kind of consolidate my position. I have this AT gun over here on Overwatch to kind of, look at stuff coming down these roads. I'm slowly filling in these hangars. I'm trying to skirmish with these guys. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I got my Flak 88 out. I did want to comment, this deck gets a lot of Flak 88 started in Phase A, and they get, I think, 2 per card in B upfit. So the 7/16th on this side actually has 4 Flak 88s. Look at that. That's a really powerful push too, and might be interesting to look at. I definitely think this deck does good at getting Flak 88s out for the team. But like I said, I want to kind of focus on the infantry combat, the close-in stuff, and that's what I want to do with this video today. I'm definitely going to have deck building videos up for the 7/16th, and I already have one up for the 17th, which I'll link here as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of urban combat. I'd like to do more with it in the future, but these are just a couple games I played yesterday and the day before, so I wanted to cast them. Let me know what you think, if you have any feedback, comments, etc., or other topics you'd like me to cover, and yeah. As always, thanks for watching. Take care.